Well, good afternoon, all my Gem Cars Modified people. I just kind of wanted to do a quick overview before I put this thing back together and start adding the fun stuff like the stereo and the lighting system and things like that. Wanted to give you a quick overview. I have a lot of people asking, hey, what about this, what about that? Well, I have, on the YouTube channel, I have kind of a folder that's set up for Gem Car and tried to do informational videos along the way, what I did with the suspension in more detail, what I did with the shocks, how I found the shocks, the Navitas system. What is Navitas? A lot of people in the Gem world don't know Navitas because there was never a plug-and-play Navitas system that could go onto a Gem car. So previously, you were required to basically strip everything that was Gem, which was my plan, and you were then going to wire it like a golf cart. You had to put a new accelerator pedal, all of that stuff. So this is the new system that's coming out that has Navitas. It's going to be Ace Performance. You can find them at gemcarsmodified.com. And Ace Performance is working together with Navitas to basically do a plug-and-play install system. And so this is what I have here. Brad just left yesterday. He came and installed it for me, did everything. Just absolutely blown away by the power, the adjustability, and everything that I get out of this vehicle. So I'm doing about a top speed of 50 mile an hour is about what we got up to, sitting on Jeep rims that I bought some adapters for. The tires are approximately, I think they're about 31.5, 32 inches tall, if you measure them up. And the rear differential is a 2-speed. I can either put it on a 10-to-1 gear ratio or a 21 to gear ratio. From what we were playing around, I decided the 10-to-1, the more high speed, is actually the majority of what I'm ever going to use. Number one, because then I can get the higher top end without maxing out the motor RPM. But it has so much torque that I'm not feeling like I'm losing anything, whether I'm taking off in high speed or low speed. So it just, a lot of it was dumb luck. I put a 4-link suspension together. I've never done anything like that before, and even Brad was blown away by the way this thing rode. It's just, with the Fox shocks and the 4-link, everything's in the rear for the power. Your normal Gems are going to have front-wheel drive. So I'm going to take you on a quick walk around to show you what I did. All right, so this started life as a 2008 ELXD. Again, these are just brand new takeoff rims. You can see the spacers in there. This is the Navitas motor with the custom rear end. Basically, it's a golf cart rear end that has 2 long tubes rather than the long and the short, which gave us kind of the stock length. You can see the 4-link suspension, how it's attached there on the rear end. Then the shock mounts. These are Fox shocks out of a Gator. I found a good deal on those. You can see the attachments on the front. And really, this is just completely bolt on. The only thing that I really had to do for modifications was I cut out the bottom of this so the square tube could go down further. But this is a stock frame. The only thing I did is cut off the end of this frame rail because this is nothing structural. And that way the motor didn't come up and hit the frame rail. So we did make this suspension a little bit higher, and let's say I want to go higher yet. See how the shocks are tilted forward? All I have to do is unbolt this. I could move this further forward, which is going to push up the rear end, but we did it to try to match what's on the front currently, because in the future, I want to put more of an RZR front end on it so I get a little more width on the control arms. So this big ass box right here is a battery that I built. It's Life Po4, and it is 230 amp hour cells. I should get approximately 100 miles on a charge easily with that battery. I would say probably an average 25 mile an hour speed. Got to get the seat reupholstered on the front end. Everything on the A-arms is completely stock. I just cut the CV shaft off at the knuckle, and so I had the attachments for the spindles. The differential in the front is gone, you can see, so it's very lightweight. I get much more turning radius because there's nothing binding in the front end. Whenever you're typically turning, your CV shafts are the limiting factor on the shock mounts. They aren't in stock location because these are a little bit longer, so all I did was put a secondary support up top there and welded it. And this is dropped and moved forward. So it's dropped, I think, 7 inches and moved forward 6 inches so that you can get the height that you see it sitting at currently. So this will kind of give you an idea of the stance now from the front and from the side. The reason that you have to go out is so if you put these much larger tires on it, obviously you need to be able to clear the front fenders, which I actually still had to cut a little bit off the corners there and maybe still have to do a little bit of trimming, but we'll get that figured out. The hood doesn't match up perfect. I'm gonna do some work on some stuff there later, but I don't know if I'm gonna stay with that front end much longer, so I don't really wanna do a lot of work until I know how it's gonna end. So the height to the bottom of the frame is about sitting at 21.5 inches off the ground, so it is a little bit of a jump to get up in there. So I definitely will put some steps on for the kids and the wife to be able to get in easier. And I'm going to leave the doors off for the summer, maybe put some side view mirrors on the door mounts with a little foot peg up there. But all in all, I absolutely love it. It is currently titled. I've got a license plate on the way, and this thing will be driven a lot. Getting rid of the old golf cart style of not being able to go anywhere with it legally, this will solve all those problems.